At its most basic, the color overlay layer effect just gives us an alternative way of changing the color of our layers. So for example, if I wanted to change this type from black to red, I would choose color overlay, choose my color. In this case, I will need a normal blending mode, and I now have red type. Of course, there are other ways to change the color of your type. So I'm going to undo that. Where color overlay really comes into its own is allowing you to change the color of a smart object in situ without actually having to open the smart object. If we look at the finished version, I've converted the type to a smart object and I've applied a filter to it. Now to change the color of that result, I can use the color overlay. What's more, I can use multiple instances of the color overlay. So I'll switch to my beginning file, and the first thing I need to do is add a layer of white beneath this. So I'll choose solid color, make that white, and now I'll select both of those layers, right click, and make them into a smart object. I'll now apply my filter. I'm going to go to my filter gallery and to my distort group, glass, and the texture type I'm using is tiny lens, distortion of 5, smoothness of 3. Okay, so far so good, but I actually want to remove the white. I had to apply the white in the first instance so that the type had a color to interact with, but now we want to see that type on the yellow background. So I can change the blending mode of the layer to multiply, but my next challenge is to change the color of the type itself, and this is where we use the color overlay. I'll double click to the right of the layer name, come to color overlay, and I'm going to need to use a lightning blending mode here since the color that I want to change is black, and the color that I want to use is 219 158 54. As I mentioned, we can have more than one instance of the layer effect. That gives me the color that I want, but the result looks overexposed. So I'll click on the plus to add a second color overlay, and I'll change the blend mode of the second one to multiply. And that is the result that I'm after.